Welcome to Kentucky Football Nation. Well, let's try to learn a little bit of football, X's and O's. This is a Will Stein red zone base formation, as you're seeing right here. Okay, I just put the defense in a nickel situation here. They may or may not be lined up like this. 4 defensive linemen, 2 linebackers, then you have your nickel, corner, safeties, and another corner over here. Now, we are lined up with 3 wide receivers to the right, and this would probably be your X over here to the left. So what these 3 guys are trying to do here is we're running the mesh concept. If you haven't seen my mesh concept video with actual film, not X's and O's on a board, go back and watch that. It's in my archives. Will Stein loves the mesh concept, okay? So what's going on here is you're trying to get these 3 guys in a slam collision drag, okay? Slam collision drag. They're just going to try to rub or pick off some of these guys. So they're going to run into them, try to, knock them away, see if they can pick somebody off and get in here somewhere, okay? Here's your goal line. I put the goal line. We'd probably be on the 10, 15-yard line, maybe the 20, but I just, I put a goal line right here. So these guys are trying to just, like I said, mesh concept, pick some of these people off. We don't know what these guys are going to do. Are they going to come down? Are these guys going to come down? Are they going to drop into coverage? You don't know what these guys are doing. That's where these guys come in. When they're running these routes, they look to see what everybody else is doing. And if they can get free in space somewhere, they're going to get in space to catch the ball, depending on what these guys do. And like I said, they can always nudge them, hit them, knock them around a little bit, see if they can get open. Then you got your guy over here. This is probably your X, your best receiver. Probably would be Nick Anderson but this could be anything. This could be, talk about Rodriguez. Rodriguez could be any of these guys. He could be any of these 3 receivers. He could be this guy. So, your tight end, your Y receiver in this offense, I do believe, I could be wrong. I think that's what they call the tight end from what I've seen on film. He could be any of these guys, okay? So just because it says wide receiver, that doesn't mean it couldn't be Rodriguez as a tight end, okay? If they wanted it that way. So this guy's just going to do, a 4-6-step speed up where he just, goes for the goal line here. That might be what he does, okay? So now your tailback, we're going to put him in motion, right? Put him in motion. He can either get a pitch and then run through this lane right here. We can have the wide receiver come over here and try to pick off this defensive lineman, nudge him so he can run through here. Or he could go all the way out wide and run this way when this guy takes this guy with him. If he goes all the way over here, somebody's going to have to come down and get him. So, yeah, he has options here. If we pitch it to him or hand it off to him, he can go, like I said, through this hole or this hole, if you want to call it a hole. But like I said, depends on what this guy goes after him. He could go after him, and then boom, he's going to have to, the cornerback, who's going to be small, is going to have to try and come and get this guy running downhill. So you definitely like to run, Will Stein has said in his videos that I've seen at UT San Antonio and Oregon, in the red zone, loves to throw, but you got to run the ball. You got to run the ball. And these defenders, when we get closer to the goal line, they're going to be in the box. Everybody's going to come down in the box to protect the edges, okay? So if we were right on the goal line, these guys would be up here closer, okay? But everybody can't come down here and try to cover these guys, one-on-one, because they'll pick them off. They'll just get past them. And then somebody's going to get past their man and be open. So these guys right here got to do their job and figure out what to do with these guys when they run their collision drags. Who's doing what? So the wide receivers are reading reading the play. If the quarterback doesn't hand off, obviously he could go over here and just sit down and wait for a pass. If everybody's covered, then he can throw to him over here. If he goes over here and sits down somewhere and this guy goes, well, he's sitting, the running back, the tailback sitting over here by himself. You can just throw it to him. So, this is a red zone. It's called a 3-by-1, base alignment. But this is a red zone base formation, and this is a 3-by-1 alignment, okay? So, that's Will Stein in the red zone. They explained in about 5 minutes. So look, guys, I'm just doing these videos. They don't get a lot of views, but if you're watching this, you probably want to learn football, and you want to know what's Will Stein doing. This is just a simple formation. He could have two wides here. He could go 4 wide, but he loves the mesh concept. He loves these drag collision routes. because he's trying to get these people right here open, or either run on this other side over here, or if you get Nick Anderson over here, he could beat this guy one-on-one. And what's the safety going to do? Is he going to come down, or is he going to slide over? Is he going to go back in coverage? Is he coming down? Just depends on this guy. So this is an excellent formation. It's sort of the meat and potatoes of what Will Stein does in the red zone. Okay, 5 minutes, and we explained one just red zone base formation. So I'm trying to learn the game along with you. And if you're watching this, I appreciate it, because a lot of people don't really care about the X's and O's. They just want to see us win, and I get that. All right, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. I do have a basketball section of my channel if you happen to be watching this. So I do shorts. I have a shorts section where I have shorts on football and basketball from the present and past. All right, guys, thanks for watching.